I just saw one of the scariest fucking shows you could ever fucking see in your entire life, okay? Now, this TV show, the whole TV show was 12 minutes long, alright? That should give an indicator that, well, maybe you shouldn't click on it. If you want to look for it, it's on HBO Max. It's called Opal, some shit. It's OPAL. I'll probably put a picture up. But it's well, let's just say it's beyond fucked. It's even scarier than the cartoon Over the Garden Wall. I don't know if everybody's seen that cartoon when they were growing up. Maybe it was just me. But Over the Garden Wall as a child was terrifying. This beats it by a long shot. Yeah, I even rewatched that cartoon as an adult, and it was still horrifying. But nothing as horrifying as Opal or Opal, whatever it's called. Terrifying shit, okay? I don't know how to explain it. I'm just gonna spoil it for you guys right away. So if you don't want to spoil the cartoon or whatever, just click off the video. But if you don't give a shit about watching it, well, I'm gonna spoil it to you. Okay. So apparently, it's this like little child who is, I guess, I don't know, famous or something, because he has like its own he has his own billboard and everything. He has like his own. It's kind of like Little Debbie's, but instead of doing sweets, he does burgers. And there's a house across the street that's very run down and janken. It's very old looking. And well, this kid gets curious. He looks at the wall. And obviously, they tell him, don't look into the house. But he doesn't listen. So at night, when everybody's asleep, he goes and he sneaks out and he goes into the house. And he's immediately greeted with an obese blind man who tells him to fetch his cigarettes. And he thought it was his wife. He sniffs the fucking child, all right, loses his shit, right, and chases the child through the house. And then this little child comes across another room of a man who is weirdly obsessed with himself, but he's like locked in like a weird brick room. And he has a bunch of mirrors around him and everything. And then one of the mirrors smashed, so he loses his shit, and he chases this little child around. And then he goes into this, she, whatever the hell it was, I don't know. Runs into this other room, locks the door, and there was a strange lady hiding underneath a bunch of bed sheets, grabs the child's ankle, freaks the fuck out. I had no clue what they were saying because, well, my mind was just completely fucked at this point. It felt like I did psychedelics and I was just tripping it. She was saying a bunch of stuff, and the kid breaks her beer bottles or wine bottles or whatever, and then she starts chasing after the little child. And he goes up to the attic, and he gets stuck in the attic. His only option... Then he starts, hallucinating He starts hallucinating and shit. He thinks that the blind man's eating him, and then the man with the mirrors is sewing his face into mirrors and shit. It was beyond fucked. But his only option at the point was to jump out, to commit suicide, and jump out this second or third story window, because it was in an attic. There was 2 floors, but then he went up, so I guess a 3rd floor, where the attic was. His only option was to jump out that fucking window and end it all. But before he does that, he looks out the window and he sees his own billboard out the window. That scene made no sense, but then it cuts back to him in the kitchen with his family, and his mom is closing the curtains and saying, don't look at that house, and they start singing, and well, then the show just fucking ends. Yeah, that was a show. Complete fuck. Not only that, but the way the show looked, it looked like a snuff film that was passed around on 6th Street in New York, around 1976. If you want to watch it, I already spoiled it for you if you made it this far, but if you still want to go and watch it to experience the mindfuckery that the show is, be my guest, alright? I highly recommend you, alright? I even highly recommend somebody to react to it on YouTube, because it's crazy, man.